What's up guys, I'm Phoenix Master 1 and this is going to be my easy to understand breakdown of the Young Awakening banner. And we have got young male Robin as a red infantry mage, and he's basically going to be functioning as a ranged brave Robin. So here he has got Fell, War Tome, which is going to be giving him +3 speed, and he does have the rally spectrum from his Slotsy skill, so that's why not having -1 special cooldown does help. And if he initiates combat or if he's within 2 spaces of an ally, then he can deal 7 pre-combat damage, which is good because infantry units don't have access to Flared Sparrow. And then he also gets +X to all of his stats, and this is going to be depending on foe's maximum special cooldown count, multiplied by 2 and then subtracted from 16. So against a 1 cooldown special enemy, he's going to be getting +14 to all of his stats, and then he also reduces damage from foe's first attacks, including the brave hits, by 30%, and then he has got the Null Guard built in this weapon. So it is going to be making it easier for you to trigger Ignis, and if his maximum special cooldown count is 3 or more, and he has a damaging special, then he gets the 100% damage reduction piercing on his special triggers. So this is really good because he doesn't really have to run Magical Null Follow-Up in his lobby, and he can pretty much pierce through the entire damage reduction of the enemies by having this kind of weapon. And then he sets up Divine Vein Flame Terrain, so it is helpful for getting that chip damage on the enemy. And then he does have Ignis as a special, which goes well with having a special that is 3 or more in cooldown for his weapon. And then he also has Flash Barrow so that he can easily trigger this. And this is going to be having good synergy with the Null Guard and the weapon, as you're going to be able to get these special charges. And then he also has Magic Gambit. So just like Brave Robin, he does introduce this, but it's a bit late now. I think this skill should have came out a few months ago because now we do have Lagoo's Friend. So this is going to be forcing you to run a 5 cooldown special, which is not the greatest thing, especially when you get damage reduction, which is completely pierceable. Lagoo's Friend gives you flat damage reduction, which is not pierceable. And it also gives you the special jumping, so you can trigger your specials in the combat actually, which is a lot more helpful. And another thing is that a lot of the magical units can only use Steady Breath or any kind of Breath Sacred Seal to get the special charges, so that's why it's a bit tough for them. This is still going to be a decent scale for some of the units if you want to run the high cooldown special to get the true damage, which is going to be capped at 12, and also damage reduction, which is going to be capped at 40%. This only works in player phase or if you're facing any kind of ranged opponent in the enemy phase. So it is going to be giving you that damage reduction, and then just like Brave Robin, he has got Tip the Scales, which is going to be giving him the Rally Spectrum, which allows him to warp easily, and Rally Spectrum is also going to be given to any kind of ally in 2 spaces. So this is really good for the support, and he's going to be warping around with this and also triggering his special, which is going to be piercing through the damage reduction. So we have seen that Brave Robin has aged pretty well because of Rally Spectrum, and this is going to be no different. It's just that you have a range unit now. And we have got young Emmeryn as an infantry healer, and she's actually pretty unique. So here she's going to be healing up Lissa, and after using her healing assist, she's going to be enabling the warping of her allies, and Crom on the other side of the map is able to warp to her, which is quite good. And this is going to be making her as a pretty good Gale Force Beacon unit. So she's got Exalt's War Staff as a preferred weapon. This has got Dazzling Staff built in, and you also get -1 special cooldown. And if her HP is at or below 60%, or if she has entered a combat or used an assist in that current turn, then any kind of ally can warp in 2 spaces of her. So this is pretty much Wings of Mercy 4 in a way. So this is going to be helping her function as a good Gale Force Beacon in Aether Raids offense, and it frees up your other units from running Wings of Mercy because they're going to be able to warp because of Emmeryn, and this could also be useful in Aether Raids defense. Then she's able to give out +4 to all of these stats as a support to allies in 3 spaces, and those allies also heal up 7 HP after their combat. So it is good for stacking up the healing in case you already have the healing, and it is going to be good for the self-sustain. And then if she's within 3 spaces of an ally, she's able to get +6 attack and resistance in the combat. She gets the guaranteed follow-up attack because she has got base 25 speed, and then she can deal true damage based on 20% of her resistance. So this kind of weapon is going to be helping you with the player phase usage in Aether Raids offense, and in Aether Raids defense she could be used with Tea Time Lysithea and just force the healing, and then everyone can just teleport, so that can catch people off guard. And then she's got Magic Shield Plus, and this is going to be the new assist which you want to run on your healers, because if you're trying to use them in arena, then this scores 400 SP, which we didn't really have before because all of the other assist skills for healers were 300 SP, and now this is the 400 SP assist. So Magic Shield Pulse is going to be healing up HP based on 50% of your unit's attack, and then it also gives the target that you're going to be healing +6 attack and resistance buff and the debuff neutralization status, which we have seen before with Garrick and Peony. And if this is used from turn 2 onwards, then this gives another action to your healer at the cost of restricting their movement to one space. So you basically inflict gravity on yourself and you can act again. And this is actually pretty good if you already have some kind of warping skill. So even if you are inflicted with the gravity, you can still warp around, which is going to be amazing. So healers being able to get another action is going to be solid, and it is something that is going to be useful in Arena and also in other game modes like Aether Raids. So I'm pretty happy for this, and I'm definitely going to be trying to pull for Emmeryn so that I can fodder this to my Mercedes. And then she has got some fodder in Light's Restraint and also Poetic Justice, and she does come with attack resistance Oath 4. So she does do the true damage based on resistance, so just stacking that up is going to be helpful. And she does have enough resistance to easily make use of the ploy skills and support even more. And she already gives the Omni +4 and the 7 HP healing to her allies. So that is going to be young Emmeryn. And then we have got young Lissa. So she was on the silhouette and a lot of people did expect her. So she's a 4-star focus unit and she's an axe infantry unit. And she has got a lot of attack with base 47 with a super boon. And then she has got her preferred weapon in New War Axe. So this gives you minus and special cooldown, and you can get attack, defense, and resistance in combat based on 25% of foe's attack stat at the start of the combat, subtracted with 4. So this can go up to 14. And then she has got the full tempo effect built in. So she's going to be having an easier time triggering specials. And she also cuts the effectiveness of deep wound status by 50%. So we have seen this before on Brave Claude with his Weapon Refine and also on Special Fighter 4. So I guess it does help because she does get the healing out of this weapon. And then she's also able to get 80% damage reduction on foes' follow-up attacks, including the 3rd and the 4th hit. So she's not got any kind of damage reduction on the 1st and the 2nd hit, but rather on the 3rd and the 4th. And if her HP is at or above 70%, then she's able to do true damage on her special triggers based on X% of her defense. So this is going to be taking her maximum special cooldown count multiplied by 10 and then added by 10. So this is going to be going really well with her base 47 defense. She's going to be able to nuke really hard. And if she's below 70% HP, then she's able to heal up based on X% of her defense. So this does both. It gives you the true damage and also the healing on your specials. Unfortunately, this weapon doesn't really have any kind of guaranteed follow-up attack. It would have benefited Lissa quite a lot because she has got base 17 speed, which is really not much. So if you're trying to pull for her as the 4-star focus, at least you get a preferred weapon, and then she has got Bonfire and Defense Res Finish 3 as the fodder. So this is going to be helping you if you're foddering Emblem Ike or Duo Asker for their tier 4 finish kill. And then she has also got Time Pulse 3. Then we have got the Star of the Banner and Duo Female Robin with Chrom. So she's going to be a blue infantry mage, which goes really well for countering Emblem Ike with the color advantage, and especially with the Hush spectrum that she has got. So she's going to be repoing Male Morgan here, and she can still act after it. So that is the Chrom special, and she has got Draconic Pact as the preferred weapon. This gives her minus and special cooldown, and if a rally or movement assist like reposition, shove, etc. is used by the unit or targets unit, then she gets minus and special cooldown, and she also inflicts the Hush Spectrum status on the foes in 3 rows and 3 columns centered on the unit. And she also gets another action once per turn, and you also get this if some other ally targets you with their assist. So getting an extra action when you've already performed an action is absolutely amazing and makes her one of the best action economy units in Summoner Duel. And the fact that you don't inflict isolation on yourself and the target ally is so good. So having the flexibility of using other assist skills and being able to act afterwards, get another action, is just really amazing on top of everything that unit does. The description of Hush Spectrum is written from the perspective of the enemy. So this is going to be inflicting -5 debuff to the foe in the combat to all of their stats. And you also get the scowl effect. So you inflict special cooldown count +1 on the foe before their first attack. And you get special cooldown jump +1 if the foe has any kind of slaying effect, like minus 1 special cooldown in their weapon or in their special. So you're able to get the special jumping kind of like Bramimond. So this is going to be helping you trigger your specials easily, and then it is also going to be scowling the enemy. And this scowl does not take the resistance into the account. So this is going to be scowl regardless of the resistance on the enemy. So this is going to be helping your tanks a lot, especially when it comes to taking on Emblem Ike, because Emblem Ike doesn't really have a guaranteed follow-up attack, and you can pretty much inflict him with this kind of effect and not let him trigger Great Aether. So this is going to be the thing that you can use for the support. And then she's also able to get some of the things in the combat with this weapon. So she gets +X to all of her stats, depending on the maximum special cooldown count of the foe ×2. So the lower cooldown, the better it is for you. And you also get 30% damage reduction on foe's first attack, including the brave hits. And then she has got Null Guard with all of the special jumping and everything. She also has Null Guard. So that is just going to be making it easier to trigger Flare. And she does come with Reposition, which you can always change for other assists. And then she also has Flare, and Fell Worm Scale is her preferred slotty skill. So at start of combat, if her HP is at or above 25%, she's able to get +8 to all of her stats. And she also ignores any kind of visible buffs of the enemies. So this is going to be helping you against a lot of the buffed up opponents in Aether Raids defense and also in Summoner Duels. And she can deal true damage based on 15% of her attack, excluding the AoE hits. And whenever her special triggers, she gets the full damage reduction piercing. And then after the combat, she's able to heal up 7 HP. So it has good self-sustain, has got the damage reduction piercing, pretty much everything you could want on an infantry unit. And she also provides that harsh spectrum support, which is really good. And then she's got attack speed link 4, so the tier 4 version of the link skill is going to be giving you Canto 1 along with the visible buffs. And it also inflicts -4 speed debuff and -2 defense and resistance debuff on the foe. And you can get the true damage in the combat depending on the highest total attack and speed bonuses among unit and allies with Canto 1 active. So this is going to be giving you 12 true damage, which is actually not that bad, and you also get Canto 1. So that is also really good on top of the visible buff, and it is certainly going to be helpful on many of the units that can act after using their assists, just like young female Robin here. She does have infantry null follow-up 4 as well, so this way she can give herself the null follow-up status and the order status to warp around. And she also gets 2 more status effects with her duo skill. So this is going to be helpful in Summoner Duels with its huge range of 7 rows and 7 columns centered on the unit. So you're able to give all of your allies the Rally Spectrum status and the Dual Strike status. So Dual Strike is going to be giving you that Brave Attack, which is really good with the order status that you get out of Infantry Null Follow-up 4. And being able to get Rally Spectrum from the duo skill is really useful. And in Summoner Duels, you can often use this duo skill to stall and see what opponent does, or even offensively you can use this, because Rally Spectrum and Dual Strike is going to be really helpful on so many of the nukes. So that is young female Robin. She's incredibly good, definitely a top tier unit with her extractions, and also the fact that she inflicts the Hush Spectrum, which is essentially Scowl, and a bit of a mini special jump like Rally Spectrum. So here she is going to be using her duo skill, and then she's going to be quad attacking Gatekeeper here. Maybe we're going to be seeing more Gatekeeper ult so that there's more of detailed report, because there's a lot of warping going around with young Emmeryn right there. And with the null follow-up status, you can easily quad attack, and the free Tempest Trial unit is actually going to be young Frederick, and we already know his stats and everything. So he's an Axe Cavalier, and he does have a pretty good preferred weapon. It gives him +3 defense, and at start of the turn, to himself and the support partner, or if there's no support partner on your team, to the highest defense ally in 2 spaces, you can give the +6 attack and defense buff, the bonus doubler status, and also the follow-up denial status. And he himself in the combat gets Omni +5, the guaranteed follow-up attack, and true damage based on 20% of his defense, and then he gets 30% damage reduction on all hits of the enemies. So overall, this is a pretty decent weapon, and I'm going to be making a full review on him. And his stat spread is also really good with high attack and high defense, as you would have expected on Frederick. But the supportive aspect is what makes him really amazing as a support unit. Just giving out bonus doubler as a free-to-play unit is really good, especially if you don't have Legendary Eliwood or Young Eliwood or Isadora. So overall, this banner is solid. You can try and summon if you like any of these units, but at the same time, if you don't really like them too much, then you can try and skip this banner. But I definitely think that young female Robin is going to be amazing in many months to come in competitive game modes like Aether Raids and Summoner Duels. You can click the link on the screen right now to check out my breakdown of Emblem Ike, and make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell, because YouTube sub boxes are about as functional as Lissa's weapon having guaranteed follow-up attack. So with that said, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.